they might not look at Josh Allen like, oh, we need him for 14, 15 years. Let's get started. So the Bills dominated the Packers last night. No big surprise. I don't think anyone's going to be super shocked. Josh Allen was Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs was Stephon Diggs. Von Miller, the defense, it looked like what we expected last night, which is it's a Green Bay team that none of us are really high on anymore, especially the way they've played so far this season, and a Bills team that most in the general public and media consider a top 1 to 2 football team. In that, especially that top 3 with the Eagles and the Chiefs. So that game wasn't really surprising. But there was a lot of people talking about now, when you get to this great status that Buffalo's at, where you know you're clearly one of the best teams in the league, now it's the other part of that story, which is, okay, not only are you winning, but are you dominating? And how are you winning and or dominating? Now we start picking apart the way, did you win convincingly enough being a great football team or a great sports franchise? Because that's how we decide who's really great, right? And so a lot of people are picking apart the Bills saying, well, they can't really run the ball. They're not great in one-score games. And one of the biggest things that keep coming up is, well, Josh Allen can't keep taking all these hits. He's essentially their entire offense, both throwing and running the ball. And on some of these runs, yes, it looks great when he's jumping over guys, but he's taking a lot of hits. But what if, and hear me out, what if the Bills don't care? Look, we grew up in an NFL where it was not only important to keep your quarterback healthy from game to game, but you wanted to keep him available and healthy for seasons. You wanted to get a decade plus, 12 to 15 years out of your franchise quarterback, because that would essentially give you sustained success. You wanted a Matt Ryan with Atlanta situation. This isn't even including the outliers, who I consider Brady an outlier, Peyton Manning an outlier, guys who are clearly top 2, 3 ever at the position. I'm talking about just sustained success from a long-term franchise quarterback, a la a Matt Ryan, Brett Favre. I understand these are also Hall of Famers, but these are not the quote-unquote top 3 to 5 guys ever who are just utter franchise changers. But you want that Brett Favre consistency, that Matt Ryan consistency, even something like a Matt Hasselbeck in Seattle with his run, what Aaron Rodgers is currently doing with the Packers on year 15. You want that sustained success, or at least that's what we all grew up on. The new age quarterback is mobile. Lamar, Allen, even Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. The new age quarterback is mobile. Thus, the new age quarterback will get hit more. Thus, it is likely to believe that if the new age quarterback is going to start accruing more and more hits, and he is going to be like the other players on the team, where they're getting hit consistently, they are part of the true physicality of the game, say goodbye to 20-year careers. Just say goodbye to them. They're not going to happen anymore. Brady's played 20-some years because he didn't really get hit for most of it. Manning was able to play almost 20 years because he wasn't getting hit. Drew Brees wasn't getting hit. Say goodbye to that. Favre is probably the only guy you could argue got hit at the rate he did and played as long as he did. But this is the NFL that we grew up on. Here's the thing, though. The NFL is worth a lot of money. It has a lot of money coming in, it's generating a lot of money, and it's got a lot of new money through new ownership. And the Buffalo Bills are a part of the newer ownership of the NFL. The Bills were bought in 2014. So this is an ownership that's not even a decade long. If they're looking at it, and they're looking at what did we invest, what's our ROI, how do we make this the best situation possible? Well, we have this unique talent in Josh Allen, who is literally an offense unto himself. He's averaging over 300 yards a game passing. I think he's over 50 yards a game rushing. He is an entire offense himself. And he's going to take hits. They might not look at Josh Allen like, oh, we need him for 14, 15 years. They might look at Josh Allen and go, this is a 5-6 year run. and we got to capitalize on it. So we're going to get Stephon Diggs. We're going to pay Stephon Diggs. We're going to get Von Miller. We're going to pay Von Miller. We're going to pay the guys. We're going to pay Josh Allen because we know we have this window. We're going to pay some of our defensive players because they know they have this window. They're not looking at it from a old school 10 to 15 years sustained run of success. Look at the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, who's one of the older owners in the NFL now. You could argue Dak is set up to be more successful for a longer period of time than Josh Allen will be. Dak will never hit Josh Allen's peak. But that's an old school model of quarterback. Jerry Jones knows between what has already been part of Dak's career and probably another decade worth of it, about 15, 16 years of sustained success knowing what he has. That is the old model. New owners don't care about the old model. New owners did not get their wealth and did not get into this space doing what everybody has done before them. Look at the Warriors as a perfect example, who have newer ownership in retrospect to what most of the NBA are professional sports franchises. Have you seen the Warriors' luxury tax? No owner ever would have accepted what they are currently paying for luxury tax. And they're like, we got Steph Curry, we got what's left of Clay, we got what's left of Draymond, we got Wiggins and Poole as these young guys. Let's go for it. We are in the middle of a dynasty. Let us get everything we can out of this. We're not doing it the old way. We're not following the old model. We're doing it our way. And we got the money to back it up. That's all the Bills are doing. This is new ownership. They don't need Josh Allen to be a 13, 14, 15-year quarterback. If they think Allen can get to 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the next 5, 6 years, go for it. Now, similarly speaking, the Chiefs, who have the other quarterback you would have say is, Allen and Mahomes are kind of like fighting for that top spot right now. Mahomes is a little more traditional than Allen. He can move around, but he's not running and taking the hits Allen is. But the Chiefs are old ownership. They want to reinvest in their offensive line because they want Mahomes to be here for 15, 16, 17 years. The Bills might not be looking at that. Let me give you an example. And I think this is going to be, on Tuesday, we're going to talk more about my personal teams, Team Tuesdays. And we'll talk about my kind of car fire that is the current state of the Denver Broncos. Slightly less on fire. They got a victory. The Waltons have a chance to completely revolutionize the way we look at new owners. The Waltons simply have the Walton Penner ownership group that now owns the Denver Broncos has so much money. This is why someone like Nathaniel Hackett is on the hot seat. He would not be on the hot seat 8 games into a season if he was the coach of the Green Bay Packers, if he was the coach of the Detroit Lions, if he was the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Those owners don't have the mindset or the revenue or the pure just amount of money and resources to do what he can do. He could fire every single person in Denver. Every single person. And he could pay for them. He could pay out he could pay the rest of Hackett's contract if he felt that good about another. And Sean Payton is the guy that gets brought up. If he felt that good about Sean Payton and knew Sean would go there, he'd buy out Hackett's contract tomorrow, pay him up front, and bring in Sean Payton on a new 5-year whatever, make him the highest or second highest coach to Belichick in league history. He'd do it tomorrow. He's got a $70 billion net worth. That's just the part of the ownership group. Like, Tepper, who bought the Panthers, was the richest owner in the NFL, 16 billion. The Walton heir is worth 70 by himself. He can revolutionize the way that coaching and ownership, like, you're not safe in Denver right now. You're not safe just because you got a brand new deal as a head coach. He can get rid of you, pay for you, and pay for your replacement. That's not the same in Cincinnati. That's not the same as if you were in Green Bay. Matt LaFleur's probably good for, as much as they're struggling this season, he's probably got a good 3-4 years in him before they really start deciding, okay, maybe we got to get rid of him. Green Bay doesn't have an owner. There's not $70 billion sitting behind one person. It's different. And with all of these new guys coming into the league, in terms of ownership, they're not looking at it the way that we've always looked at it. Josh Allen's not going to be a 12 to 15 year quarterback. The Broncos don't have to wait and see, is the head coach going to work 2 to 3 years into this? No. You either work now or you get out if you're in Denver. We got enough money, we can keep this going, and we can make this work. The Bills, their ownership group, we got enough money, and we want the big ROI on getting 2 to 3 Super Bowls. So we'll pay everybody a lot of money up front. We'll pay Von Miller, even at an older age, 6 for 120. We'll pay Stephon Diggs, I believe it was 5 for almost 100. We'll give Josh Allen his money because we got this 5-6 year window that we want to capitalize on. Because that's what we're here for.